Hi there people, my name is Iconic Ace and I'm going to do a tutorial on Armoured Warfare by Cryotech. Right, the game is new and to be honest with you, there's not a lot of people actually playing this regularly. But it is an awesome game and it is a good way to get away from World of Tanks and play something a little bit different. So how I'm going to start this will be just to go through a few little tips on how you could load up your tank, weak points, other stuff that's not actually in World of Tanks, and we'll go from there. So the first things first is, you see this little CD here. Well, they've got a thing on the store where you can actually download something for free. And you get this nice little tank destroyer here, and it's permanent tank, by the way, and it makes some nice little credits. Plus the penetration is good on the gun, so you'll be able to hit a lot of things that you see and you won't need to use heat fuel. But you do get rental vehicles like this one. You see it says overdue. Well, it gives you approximately 3 days to play these tanks, just to earn your credits and your free XP, and they are not too bad actually. In fact, the Stingray 2 is a pretty awesome tank. It's a 4-shot autoloader and it hurts. It is a light tank, even though it doesn't look so light, but it gets around the map quite quick, and like I said, it hurts. And the T80U is a beautiful tank too. It has some armor, it's quick. Yeah, I enjoyed this tank too. So to get on with it, I will show you the tech tree. You see, it's a little bit different to World of Tanks, but it's still based on the same game. These are the American tanks, by the way, if you didn't know. Like, you got your M48 pattern, you go to the M60s, and then you go up to the Abrams. You got your LAV series, which are quite cool. They're fast. They don't turn on the spot because they're wheel based, but they are quite nippy. You have your Leopards. It says a Leopard variant MBTs. Well, do you know what? I do love the Leopard, but it seems like they're the underdog of this game. They've not got no armor, good gun depression, but basically when somebody sees you, you are going to get hit and it's going to hurt you. The BMP developments, right, well, these are quite good. They're tow missiles. You need to do this line to unlock certain modules, the retrofits, but I haven't got into this just yet. They're a little bit tricky, I believe, you know, so I will be going down this at some point, but not right now. And then you have your fire support, which are quite good. These are the sort of tanks that you want to get behind other little tanks, shoot them up the butt, waste their life, you know. It's quite good. They are quite overpowered sometimes, you know. You've got your rockets as well, and they do hurt too, and they got good penetration. And then you do have this line, which is the Russian and the British line, and these I believe are quite overpowered. You see, I'm going down these now. T72 with the T72A, they are beasts. It is really hard to pen them from the front because of the sloped angles, but really nice tanks either way. Now on the top here on the T72, you can go to the T90 line. I don't know if anybody's played Battlefield before, but the T90 is actually on Battlefield, and that is a nice little tank on that. And then you go down here to the T80s, and they're just like the T90s, but I believe they're a bit quicker and really good. See the T80U there? I should have showed you the premium. Well, it does stop at tier 7 unfortunately, but it's still worth getting, to be honest with you. And then you got your Chieftains, which I believe is not all that. I have played the Chieftain Mark II, I struggled in it a little bit, I won't lie. The tank is really slow. The armor could be better, but it has a good gun, I'll give it that. And then you got your BMDs, your armor fighting vehicles, and your light tank, which I'm going down, by the way. The Sheridan, it's hard to use when you haven't fully upgraded it, but still I'm enjoying it, and I'm doing a lot of hurt on the battlefield, which is good. But I am grinding for my Stingray 2, as it's a 4-shot autoloader. It's quite nice. And then you've got your Chinese side. I haven't gone down these. I reckon that the Russians do it better, so this is why I haven't gone down there. But you do get your self-propelled guns. It says PvE only, which I think that it's PvE is quite good, but you don't earn a lot of credits and you don't earn a lot of XP for it, to be honest with you. And some of the missions are quite slow, you know what I mean? When I say slow, it's not a lot of heavy battle like fighting at all, do you know what I mean? But it's still quite a good game mode, and it does help level up your tanks. And then you just have the assault APC, which is just one of them. So yes, so that's the tank line. Now we're gonna go to the garage. Right, we're gonna pick a tank here. I'll pick one of my favourites. There you go. No, not the T72. The M60A3, there you go. Now you see, before you upgrade it, you don't get a lot of this armour. If you see near the gun and that, all this plating and that, you know, that is to protect you from heat rounds, by the way, if you didn't know. It's under your underplate, on the top there, on the turret. That is extra armour, and that is overpowered, to be fair. That is a really nice way of building up your tank and giving it a lot of armour, you know, which I'll show you in the texture here. You see this? Rise armour with ERA, utilising an older variation of explosive reactive armour. This upgrade covers the M60A3 extensively along the glacis and the majority of the turret, offering marginal protection from kinetic rounds and a few 100mm of diffusion from heat round detonations, which is good because heat rounds, if you look at the penetration here, 450mm, that is quite a good pen, and the drop off is not severe at all. It's not like the other rounds. It doesn't drop off at all for the penetration. If you look here, look, that's the highest penetration on the standard round, and it's only 370mm, you know, so heat is good. So yeah, so watch out for them tanks where you see that. If you really want to hurt them, use HE, high explosive rounds. That'll rip the panels off, and then it'll give you a good chance to start shooting. But if you do, make sure it's just under that glacis there, because that's a really good weak point. And if you are loaded heat and you do come across one of these, if you look right underneath, there is a spot where you can actually hurt them without even hitting one of them panels. It's tricky, but it does work. So we'll go on to pretty much the general stuff you want to put on your vehicle. So we've got the general stats of the vehicle, the ammo types, the vehicle's armour, you know, and then we've got the history of it, and then we come to insignias. Now you unlock insignias by collecting crates, and when you unlock them they will give you certain stuff, and a lot of it is insignias, and these are really good, especially if you don't run a premium account, which I haven't got premium right now, but I will be soon. If the game picks up so much, I will be putting a lot of money into this game. So we got the Commander XP insignias, which boost up your XP for your Commander. Then you've got the boost for your crew. Then we got a credit booster. Then we got global reputation. Now global reputation means free XP. It's not XP for your tank, it's free XP, and it can go on any tank. And this is quite important to use. I use this a lot. I'll put it on a lot of my tanks. It does help me out, so I'm grinding a few tanks, and then while I buy another tank, I don't want to go out completely stock, so I will throw some free XP onto that tank, and then take it out for a little spin. So yeah, and then reputation is your XP for the tank. So there, right, so now we've got consumables. Now this is just like World of Tanks. You got your med kit, you got your repairs, and a fire extinguisher, and plus you've got stuff like, I would say, premium consumables. This will be like rations, increase crew stats by an additional 5% for a battle. See, and this one here, this will be increasing your vehicle's acceleration and hold traverse by 10% and max speed by 5 for a single battle. You see how it's sort of like World of Tanks, you see? So you're sort of really, if you are a World of Tanks person, you're literally transferring your skills into this game, and it's not hard at all. Now your retrofits would be your modules. Now these are very important, you see. Now we call it a gun lane drive, we call it a gun rammer. Like the gun rammer is a certain percentage of your reload time off. Your gun lane drive would be like better accuracy on the move and stuff like that, and it's exactly the same with this game. You see this, I've got an improved gun breach, which is like a gun rammer, improves the reload time by 5%, and if you unlock through the vehicle LAV 600, you can actually upgrade it, which will be down the bottom here, and you can make it 10% more quicker on the reload if you unlock the LAV. So yeah, and then we have the improved telescopic lens, which increases range. To be honest with you, I love this retrofit, because you always want to spot them out and you don't want to be hit from nowhere, you know. I've been hit for a little light tank that's out in the distance. He can spot me, but I can't spot him, and I'm just getting hurt and I'm backing up. You know, it's nice to actually make sure that you can out spot him as well, and then if he's out in the open or anything, other tanks can see him and hit him and help me out killing him. So yeah. But the important thing is, though, is what people don't realise is that although it says down at the bottom there, remove the retrofit, if you press X to change it, you see it becomes a sell retrofit. Well, all you got to do is sell it, and you get 75% of your money back off that retrofit, which is better than World of Tanks, because you'll have to put money into it to actually take it off, where you don't have to. It's just a little penalty of 25% of missing the actual price of it. But to be honest with you, certain tanks you'll be keeping on because they are good at that tier at the minute, and because it's a brand new game, not a lot of people are in the higher tiers. Right, so on to the commanders. Now, as you can see, there's 3 different commanders. They all have different traits. Look, there's aim and speed, vehicle repair, turret traverse, rate of fire increase, and crew damage caused by enemies increased by 20%, which I use this commander a lot, by the way, because he is really good. Then you got this commander, which increases the hit points, aim and speed, ammo swap, vision, which is quite crucial in some tanks or tank destroyers, and your crew stats increase by an additional 4%, which is always good. And for some reason she's only just got this reduced repair time. I believe it's because I haven't upgraded her yet, so let's see anything she has. But I have had a look at her traits, and they don't seem as good as the other 2 guys, so we'll be going back to Victor. Right. Now the crew is important. Now after 1 or 2 games, these will become available straight away on the first one. Now you really want to put these in straight away. As you can see, rate of fire is 1%, because he is being trained at the minute. You got your aim and speed and traverse speed. Right, these are really important because they still add up, they stack up, and they will help you out a lot, especially if you haven't upgraded your tank already, which is really handy. And then you got pretty much your customizations. Well, these don't actually add a camo factor to your tank at all, so they're clearly cosmetic, that's it, but they do look cool, to be honest with you. See, I'll go through a couple of them there, but they are very expensive. So maybe right now you don't want to put your credits into camos, but you want to put them in into your tanks. So yeah, which is quite cool. I like this one, it's quite cool. It's the same as the Walker Bulldog. Not bad at all. So yeah, the only thing is though, we do not have a snow map at the minute, but if you do play PvE, you will be able to show off your camo if you really want to. Some of them are quite cool. Yeah, so that's the rundown of some of the features this game has. Excuse me. So the way it works is you take your tanks out, you level them up, just very similar to World of Tanks. And you see the bar on the top right where you press L3 to advance progress. You see you can free XP it. I'm not too sure about what's going on there, but I do take my tanks out and do play them, so I don't really need to free XP. It'll be clearly just for the modules and stuff like that. So see how I've maxed it all out. Some of them are very important to be used, you know, like I said about the armor. Smoke grenades, by the way, smoke in this are a lifesaver. You get spotted, especially if you're in your light tank and say you're on the ghost map, you know, you're in the middle, you will be spotted, lit up for everybody, and people will be shooting at you. And to get away from that, you pop a smoke, you're instantly unspotted, and then you can get away from the battle. So yeah. Now the drawbacks to this game is because it's new, it does tend to glitch out. There's a few glitches in the game at the minute which need to be sorted, and it does crash and it'll kick you out completely, and then you'll have to go back in there, and then you have to rush to get back into the game before the game starts or anything. You know, you don't want to be sat there doing nothing or dying or anything, especially in PvP. But it's new, like I said, and they will sort them out, I believe. I do have faith in them. So yeah. Now I am using the actual PlayStation video recording stuff, so the quality of this video might not be good, and plus the graphics are not actually top notch, so it's not the video recording all the time. So, but it's still a beautiful little game nonetheless. And we'll just run down some of my stats to finish off the video, and then I'll be putting out videos of good gameplays and wins. So yeah. So you got your edit profile, which you can edit your picture. That'll be your commander, you know. And when you do unlock tanks, you can unlock portraits as well on the way. Then you got your achievements, which are pretty handy. You know, you do get certain things unlocked, you know, which is quite cool. You know, look, you got your extra paints there, and then you know, currency still, which is quite handy. There's some money from nowhere coming in at some point, which can be handy. And then you got your vehicles. Now these are your vehicle stats. I don't know why the win rates are 0 at the minute, I have no idea, but I have played a lot of the tanks, so they need to sort that one out. And that's about it for that. And then you've got your Global Ops PvP. Now I only play Global Ops because it's a quick game. You can, you know, it's a quicker way of playing World of Tanks if you are a fan of that. You know, you haven't got one life and that's it, the game over. You got multiple lives, you know. It does make a quick gameplay, and it's a lot less frustrating, to be honest with you. If you're the kind of person that goes out there and dies at the start and you're disappointed in how it went, well, if you die, you come straight back into the battlefield, and then you can redo whatever you was doing in the first place. Maybe taking out the flags again, or collecting pillboxes, stuff like that, which I'll be getting into at a later video on the game mechanics and how to win a game. So that'll be cool. And the win rate is 64%. I've done that a lot on my own, plus I've been platooning with a couple of mates. To be honest with you, platooning does help a lot. 2 tanks versus 1 is a lot easier. Even though it doesn't seem fair, it still does help out. My kill death ratio, now it says 5.33. You might think that it's like, oh, he just sat back, he's camped it. Well, no, that's not the truth. Some people at the minute are noobs at this game. They've probably never played World of Tanks. They see it as a free game, so they'd try it out. You know, they might not understand the tank that they're firing at the minute. You know, so I rely on my armour, side scraping, which I'll get onto at a later video for you guys. But yeah, that is the overall kills to deaths. My damage ratio, you see, it's not too bad. Like I said, on certain tanks that I do own in the garage, I do rely on the armour, and as you can see, some spotting damage there. So I do go out first. And then you got your map objectives, so your base captures, your base defence, your wildcards deployed, which I'll get onto at a later video too. Your kills with your wildcards and spots with the wildcards. So yeah, and then you got your battles per vehicle tier. As you can see, you've only played a few tier 7 games. I didn't want to overdo my premium tanks as they were on loan. I wanted to level up my other tanks, and if I like the premium tanks and the game sorts itself out a little bit more, I will be investing some money in the premium tanks that I've got rented. So yeah, and then there's the battle per vehicles. So like I said guys, I'll be making a new vid shortly after this one for some gameplay, and pretty much show you how it's done on a battlefield. So thanks for watching guys, and please subscribe.